Welcome back to the cryptoworld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, while Ethereum plays out this break to the downside from this pattern, Bitcoin just confirmed a new signal in the short term, which I'll talk about in just a moment, so definitely stick around. First of all, just giving you a quick update here on the daily Bitcoin chart, and right now the price of Bitcoin is still running into this important area of support, sitting in between around 24.3k to 25.3k. And if you're looking at the daily Bitcoin price oscillators, first of all, the daily Bitcoin RSI is looking relatively neutral, while the daily Bitcoin MACD is leaning slightly more bearish. And obviously over the last 1 day, in terms of the short-term trend and the longer term trend, nothing much has really changed over the last 1 day. So if you're new to the channel, check out my last video on this channel if you want to know more about this long-term trend and this short-term trend and what we're potentially about to see next here on the daily Bitcoin chart. And now staying on the daily time frame, taking a look at this falling wedge pattern, which is still currently forming because this support is sitting at around 25.5k and this resistance is sitting at around 27.2k. And as always with a falling wedge pattern, if we see a confirmed breakout above resistance, which happens around 2/3 of the time for this pattern, then in that case that would set up a technical price target at around 30,500. But obviously as of right now, that technical price target is not yet in play. It is not yet active because we have not yet seen a confirmed breakout above this resistance. And so even though there's around a 70% chance of that happening, considering the probabilities of this falling wedge pattern, of course, it is not a guarantee, which is why we need to wait for confirmation in order to enter any sort of trade, because obviously there's still a smaller chance that we could actually break to the downside here. And in that case, I'll simply be targeting these areas of support. And speaking of support on the daily time frame, taking a look at the Fibonacci retracement tool, we have the 38.2% Fibonacci level on the linear settings sitting at around 25.1k, which should be acting as support. And below that level, we have the 50% retracement level sitting at around 23.3k. And as for resistance, we have this Fibonacci level acting as resistance now that the price is below it, sitting at around 27.3k. And now if you zoom into the shorter term, this is on the 8-hour Bitcoin to US dollar chart. And right now there is currently an active bullish divergence on this 8-hour time frame because we have confirmed lower lows in the price of Bitcoin in the 8-hour candle closes, while also confirming higher lows in the 8-hour Bitcoin RSI. But it's worth mentioning that so far this has only been confirmed with one 8-hour candle close in the green. But if you're taking a look at the 6-hour time frame, we have seen two 6-hour candle closes in the green, confirming this same bullish divergence on a slightly smaller time frame. And so as always, this bullish divergence means that we're due to see reduced bearish momentum in the shorter term, as in potentially over the next few days, meaning we're most likely going to experience either neutral price action, so choppy sideways price action, or perhaps a slight recovery, not necessarily a full-on bullish reversal in the short term, because the most common outcomes from these short-term bullish divergences, once again, are either sideways consolidations or slight bullish recoveries. But in terms of the shorter term trend and momentum, of course, things are still looking more bearish than bullish in the trend. It's just in the imminent short term, we're due to see potentially a bit of a break from that bearish trend for now. And as for resistance, in case we actually see a bounce back to the upside, we have this area now acting as resistance, which was previous support, sitting in between around 26.1k to 26.5k. And above that, we have this area sitting in between around 27.2k to 27.6k, also acting as resistance. And basically, while the price of Bitcoin is still below this first area of resistance right here, I'm still leaning more bearish than bullish in terms of the short-term trends. But if we see a breakout back above that area, then I'd flip more neutral again, because we would basically be breaking back into this choppy sideways price range. And I would only only start to flip much more bullish again in the short-term trend if we actually see a confirmed breakout back above this second area of resistance. So that's basically the situation in the short term. Once again, the short-term trend still looking more bearish than bullish, but we're due to see a bit of a pause from that short-term bearish trend due to this bullish divergence now playing out. And once again, like I said in the beginning of this video, the longer-term trend currently has not changed. So if you want to know more about that, check out my last video on the channel. But anyway, now getting into the Ethereum part of this video, this is on the daily ETH to US dollar chart. And over the last one day, we've now seen a daily candle close confirm below this previous area of support, which was sitting in between around 1770 to 1820. And so obviously this is a bearish signal on the daily time frame. But with that being said, we still have this area of support to focus on now, which is sitting in between around 1650 to 1.7k. And now if we end up seeing a confirmed break below 1650, then in that case, that would be a strong signal pointing towards a trend reversal from this larger bullish trend that we've seen since around $1,000 back in November last year into potentially a new larger bearish trend confirming on the daily time frame if we see a confirmed break below around 1650. But at least for now, we have not even seen the same sized pullback from high to where we are right now as to what we saw back here during February and March. And obviously, if you're looking at the larger trend, we're still forming larger higher lows and higher highs here on the daily time frame. And so this is why I've been saying since the beginning of this year that the larger trend is technically still more bullish than bearish. But of course, during these larger trends, we can experience short-term bearish trends, which is exactly what we're seeing right now. And as for the daily Ethereum price oscillators, as I also said in my last video, these are now looking more bearish than bullish, which means we're likely going to continue to see a little bit of a correction here in the short term. So I would not be surprised if the price does actually drop down towards this next area of support, once again in between around 1650 to 1.7k. And now speaking of support levels on the daily time frame, taking a look at the Fibonacci retracement tool from swing low to swing high on the linear settings, we have the 38.2% Fibonacci retracement level sitting at around 1730, which is currently acting as support. But below that level, the next retracement level is the 50% retracement level, which is sitting at around 1.6k approximately. And now if you're zooming into the shorter term, this is on the 6-hour ETH to US dollar chart. And as I said in my last video, we have already confirmed a break to the downside from this symmetrical triangle pattern, which confirms a technical price target in play, which of course is a bearish price target, which is currently sitting at around 1.6k to 1610 more specifically. And so far from the break to the downside, the price of ETH has moved approximately 4% to the downside, and all the way to that price target, that would be a total of around an 11% drop, which from the current price to that price target, that's still around a 7 to 8% drop in the price of ETH as a technical movement. And now, once again, as I said in my last video, if you're looking at the 6-hour Ethereum RSI, this is currently oversold, which means just in the imminent short term, we have limited room to the downsides, which basically means in the imminent short term, as in potentially over the next 1 to 2 days or so, we're due to see at least some sort of sideways consolidation or perhaps a slight recovery before another leg to the downside, considering the short-term trend is currently more bearish than bullish. And as always, this bearish price target for this break to the downside would only become invalidated if we actually see a confirmed breakout back above this level, currently sitting at around 1820. So basically, while the price of ETH is below 1820, I'm simply leaning more bearish than bullish in the short term for the short-term trend, because obviously while the price of ETH is below that level, once again, this bearish price target is still currently active. But as I said earlier, that does not necessarily mean that we're going to go there in a straight line. We could end up seeing a slight pause in the imminent short term before another leg to the downside due to this RSI being oversold. But either way, whether the price remains bearish, flips back into bullish, or chops around sideways for a little while, either the way, you can make money in crypto by watching these videos popping up right here on your screen, because the video in the top left shows you how to make money no matter what direction the price is going using AI, and the video in the bottom left shows you how to make money in a sideways price range. But anyway, that's everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.